The developers of Neverness to Everness just dropped a new video talking about the development of the game, but you don't technically have to watch this video unless you're super interested in the game. If you just care about gameplay, then you absolutely don't need to watch this video. But the devs did reveal some new tidbits of information very sneakily, like they talked about how they plan on optimizing this game for PC and mobile, and some other things. So let's get into the video. Now, one of the characters that was revealed in the trailer has finally gotten an official name. Her name is Miss Ju Yuan. I don't know how to pronounce that. Please, can someone tell me how to pronounce that in the comments? And also, we got the name of a street in the game. It's Hankaku Street. Now, the most important thing here is just the name of the character, and also the fact that apparently, from what the devs are saying, this hasn't been confirmed. It seems like you can now go and visit other characters in other parts of the city. You know how, like in Genshin, some people were talking about how in the Knights of Favonia's headquarters, you can't go there to find Jean or Lisa in their offices because the game doesn't actually render them there. From what the devs are saying, it seems like as though now you can actually go to the places where you will most likely find these characters, and you will be able to find these characters, and you might be able to do some stuff with them. It hasn't been confirmed, but from what I see, from what they said, it seems very, very likely. And if they add this kind of a feature, oh my god, I'm going to be very, very surprised. I can already see some content ideas around this kind of a system if it actually is what exactly I'm thinking it is. But all that remains to be seen. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is optimizations to the game. Technically, they didn't talk about optimizations for the game, but they did mention something which I think personally could work as an optimization to the game. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know for sure if what I'm saying is actually what it is. In the video, they talked about the nanite geometry system. And in Unreal Engine 5, essentially the nanite system just helps you, when you're rendering high quality assets, to be able to duplicate these assets multiple times without actually experiencing a drop in FPS. Because essentially the game will subdivide the polygons and do everything and essentially optimize the game to make sure that it doesn't run badly on your systems. Now, in theory, and I want to emphasize that I mean this in theory, if we have a character or the world itself and it's being rendered entirely with the nanite engine, I think it would be a little bit easier for the devs to say, okay, on a mobile phone, instead of using this amount of polygons for rendering, use this amount of polygons. So basically, to make it so that the game is able to run smoother on mobile phones, on consoles, and on PCs, as opposed to just having to manually do everything by themselves. I don't know for a fact if this is what they are planning to do. I don't even know if this is how the nanite engine works. I tried to do a little bit of research before I made this video. I couldn't find anything that actually talked about how the nanite engine could help with optimization. But if the nanite engine can actually help with optimizations, it would be really, really nice to see. Now, the last thing to talk about are the new in-game systems in the game. We already know about the real estate system where we're able to purchase houses and actually live in these houses. And in my previous video, I made a suggestion for this real estate system. Now, aside from this, we also know about the car purchasing system, we know about the car customization system, but one thing we did not know about at the time is that we can also purchase businesses in the game and have these businesses generate passive income for us. I can already see some content ideas around this, and I am really looking forward to getting my hands on this game to try it out for myself and see if it will actually work the way I'm expecting it to. Now, one of the things that I asked when I heard about this system is, what kind of currency can we get from these businesses that we have? Of course, it's going to be pretty obvious that the main currency of the game, which are these black cards, is most probably going to be the primary currency that we get from these businesses. But I was also curious if we could also get some other kinds of currency from the game. Of course, it depends on how the monetization of the game goes. What if we could have businesses that could, albeit very, very slowly, generate currency that we need in order to be able to make pulls in the game. This is of course assuming that the game is going to be a gacha game. It most probably is going to be a gacha game. I mean, their previous game, Tower of Fantasy, was a gacha game, so it's very, very likely that this game is also going to be a gacha game, even though it hasn't been confirmed yet. But the question is there a way for us in-game to be able to also get the currency needed to pull for characters? Like I've said, I would also want them to caveat it and make it extremely very, very slow, because if it's relatively fast, there's really no need for you to actually spend on the game. And the point of every gacha game is to get you to spend as much on the game as possible. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed to see if there's actually a way for us to be able to do this kind of a thing. Now, another thing that the devs talked about is how they plan on doing expansions on the game. We all know that Genshin, almost every single patch, will update the map and make it bigger and bigger. But the devs in NTE, they have confirmed that we're going to have multiple maps in the city, so different cities in the game. But they've also sort of in a way also talked about how they're not going to really go into expanding the game too much, but they're going to take their time, make the ecosystem of one city good enough, then probably later down the line, they're going to now add another city to the game. Now, I'm not 100% clear on this. In fact, you know what? I'll just let the devs tell you, so you can make your own conclusions out of what they said.
作为游戏中我们第一个遇到的城市，过程中一直围绕打造一个更具沉浸感和体验深度的开放都市这个核心目的，聚焦于都市的细节呈现与玩法深度的挖掘，而非简单的扩张地图和场景面积，力求让海特洛市更加的真实灵动。
So, you guys heard what the devs said. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you think they're trying to say. Do you think that I'm on the mark, or do you think that I'm off and maybe they're trying to say something else? Maybe they are planning on actually expanding the map every sub-patch, every 1.1, 1.2, and so on and so forth. Or do you think it's basically every major patch we get a new city? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm actually very curious about this. Now, aside from these things, I don't think there's anything else in this dev interview that is as important to actually cover. Like, a few other things that he talked about are like a little bit of the law of the city, or basically how the city works, talking about how some anomalies in the city aren't very, very nice to humans, while some can live with humans, like Kidomaru with Sakiri. They also talked about the different vehicles that we'll get in the game, from cars to bikes to other kinds of vehicles, maybe boats and other things. They also talked about the AI of the world, how NPCs in the game will try to maintain the rules of the road and all of those other things. Basically basic stuff that we don't really care about at the moment, but it is nice to see that the devs are making an attempt to keep their game alive. And don't forget, in September of this year, the devs have told us that we're most probably going to get an offline event, so some people will probably be able to play a build of the game. Whether this is going to be a beta or just a technical test or something, we do not know, but we do know that sometime by next 2 months, we will be able to at least get some more information and hands-on with the game. And I hope that when that time comes, we'll be able to discover a few more things for ourselves that are in this game that the devs haven't talked about. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching the video. Subscribe for Wuthering Waves, Azure Familiar, Project Mugen, and NTE videos. I'll make different videos, from guide videos to news videos to lore videos and challenge videos. And you can also check out my second channel. I'm planning on doing some ZZZ content there. I just haven't had time to actually download the game and get to actually trying out ZZZ for myself, but that will be on that channel. And I'm probably going to resume my Genshin content on that channel. It still remains to be seen if I'm going to do that or not, but yeah, that's basically everything. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.